Come on. Good morning, folks. You catch us out today on my rest day on week 2 of my training, and with a walk with the dog, as you seen just now. And there she is. But today we're going to look back on how week 1 went. What did I do and how did it go? So I'd like to start off by saying, remember, I'm not a coach. I'm an experiment of one, and I'm approaching this as an older runner. I had to find where my dog's gone. Parkrun! And so I'm gonna, here she comes. There she goes. Right, so let's get into it. What did week 1 look like? Just checking for bikes. So Monday, which is the first session of the week, was an easy zone 2 trail run. It was about 6 kilometers in distance over about 40 minutes, so a very easy pace. So that's a comfortable 7 minutes per kilometer pace. I just did the run this time. I didn't do any of the extras which I mentioned in my training plan. So I did no strides and I didn't carry my weighted pack. And the main reason of this is it's the first week of my training plan and I want to ease into it. As I say, I'm getting older, and one of the main things I've got to think about is not getting injured. Because not getting injured means I can train. Being able to train consistently should help us be successful in this bit of a challenge. I managed to stay in my target zone of zone 2 for over 90% of the run. I think I popped out occasionally, went doing off-road climbs and all that, but I sharp got out of zone 3 and back into zone 2. So quite a successful run. I was quite happy with it, and I always love running off-road. Tuesday, I started the day at lunchtime. I didn't start the day at lunchtime, but at lunchtime, I did a short mobility session. This is my first strength and mobility of the week, and it was just a 20-minute follow-along video from YouTube. You know, I believe as we're getting older, we start losing mobility. You know, that ability to touch your toes, which was so easy when you were younger. Yeah, you start losing all that. So I believe mobility is quite key to being successful as an older athlete. So that was Tuesday at lunchtime, a mobility session. Then later in that day, after work, it was my hard session, my treadmill intervals. And again, although it was a hard session, I kept it a little bit easier with being the first week of the plan. The session was basically 10-minute warm-up. You should always look to warm up when you're doing interval sessions, warm up thoroughly. So that was like a progressive warm-up where I got a little bit quicker across the 10 minutes. The main set was 10 by 1 minute at 4:32 per kilometre pace. That's slightly faster than my target 5k pace. But the aim is to get to a point where I'm comfortable running my target 5k pace. In fact, running at 4:32 pace would give you a 5k of about 22:40. So you can see it's a good 50 seconds faster than my target of 23:30. Between each of the intervals, I did 1 minute recovery. And them recoveries are walked. The reason I walk is I need to get my heart rate down so I can attack the interval again at the same level as the previous one. The focus of the session is the intervals, not the bits in between. So I need to get the work done. So walking allows me to get my heart rate under control. For me, I dropped down, during that 1 minute, I dropped down to about 100 beats per minute, which I aim to on each recovery. So as I say, I can bang out the next interval. During the whole effort, I varied the treadmill incline just between 2 and 3% to give a little bit of variety. And I finished off with a short warm down, again just dropping the pace, easy jog out. And in fact I took the dog for a walk afterwards just to help flush my legs a bit more. The run, I think I totaled about 5.5 kilometers and took about 35 minutes start to finish. So not a long session, but a good one. I'll actually drop the visuals for that run here. I'll just interrupt this vlog here to ask you all a favour. I'm a brand new channel just starting out. And as I say, I do hope to improve the quality of these videos and the vlogs as I proceed. But it would be really nice if you could share, like, just hit that thumbs up and subscribe. It would help us out so much as a new channel. So that's enough of that. Back to the vlog. Wednesday, those of you that have seen my planning video know that Wednesday is my rest from cardio day. So nothing at all cardio wise. And so a day just to recover, especially from that harder treadmill session, which will become more important as the weeks go on. But I did do a core session. Keep an eye on me, dog. But I did do a core session. When I say I did do a core session, I attempted to do a core session. Because if any of you have got a Labrador, and when you lie on the floor to try and do a workout, they think they need to help. I'll stick a video here so you can see what I mean by that. Again, it wasn't a long session, about 25 minutes in total. Farah! It wasn't a long session, about 25 minutes in total. It was 9 different exercises and 2 sets each. And it shocked me how poor my core was. You know, some of these exercises I shouldn't have found as hard as I did. So it's definitely something I need to continue to work on. And so that was Wednesday. Thursday was my second workout session of the week. It's longer, slower intervals than the Tuesday treadmill session, but it's still a good workout. These intervals are aimed at tempo, threshold. I use that word interchangeably, but what I mean is between LT1 and LT2. So upper zone 3 for me, the target was. The whole session was about 50 minutes start to finish, about 7.5 kilometers. So did an initial warm-up, and then it was into the set. The set was 5 lots of 3 minutes in upper zone 3. This was out on the local cycleway, with 3 of the intervals uphill and 2 of the intervals downhill. So varying pace, but the focus was to get the intervals nailed in the heart rate. Little clip here, and I may post a video of that session so you can see what I did later. Between the 3-minute intervals, I actually recovered for 2 minutes. Unlike the treadmill session, these recoveries are not walk. I dropped down for a few steps walk, yes, but that's just to give me heart the signal like, look, that's the interval finished. You can calm down now, walk a few steps, then enter a zone 2 jog for 2 minutes between sessions. And I did, as I say, I did 5 of these, and then when I was complete, it was an easy 10 minutes or so jog, warm down. So looking at the session, it was a good session because I did almost 50% of that session was in upper zone 3 to low zone 4. So exactly where I targeted it. So I'm happy with that. Ooh, time to turn around. Going far off, but turn around. That brings us, look, she's eating the grass. She's daft. Come on. That brings us onto Friday. This is the first of those days where I've got an option. Either take a rest or do a bit of cross training. Because this week the load had been quite light, relatively. I decided to take the cross training option. It was a little spin on the mountain bike at lunchtime. Just 45 minutes. And the aim was just to spin my legs out. Further recovery. Add a little bit of aerobic load, but without adding any load to the stress on my joints and tendons sort of thing. So as I say, I'm not as young as I used to be, and this cross training really helps, I think. Whole session was just about 50 minutes or just less than 16k. So not bad. Saturday, long run day. Yeah, long run. This is the first attempt at anything longer I've done since I completed the rat race, the wall 70-mile ultra about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it was a bit of a rude awakening for my legs. I only did 13k, which yes, it's twice as long as anything else I've ran this week, but it's a lot shorter than I have ran in the past. It took us an hour and a half to do that. I kept it all in zone 2. It was a really good heart rate controlled effort, and so that meant I averaged about 7 minutes 15 per kilometre. So I was quite happy with that for a bike stay. And on to the final day of the week. Sunday was another one of those days, the second one of the week, where I've got the option of rest or cross train. This week had the option to head up to the Lake District to do a bit of a hike up Blencathra, and that's what I did. So cross training this Sunday was a hike up Blencathra, trying to get to the top for sunrise, which was about 5 o'clock in the morning. Blencathra is the 14th highest Wainwright, so it's a good hike. I'll put a clip here and I will link to the video at the end of this video, so you can see what hiking in the dark looks like and getting to the top of a mountain, trying to get there and beat the sun. The whole walk took us about 2.5 hours. It was an easy pace sort of thing, easy pace and hard effort, but yes, very enjoyable. So that was a good end to the week. So looking at the strength amongst that, the eagle-eyed of you there would have noticed I only got 2 strength sessions in. Sometimes the best plans, you know, life, work, get in the way, but I got 2 in. And 2 is better than getting 1 in, and 1 is always better than doing nothing. So although I aimed at 3, I'm quite happy with getting 2 in, just to top the week up. And if you consider my Sunday session up Blencathra, that was a big hike up a big mountain. That, as well as being aerobic, is a strength workout in itself. So in summary, here's what we had. Monday, zone 2. Tuesday, treadmill. Wednesday, rest. Thursday, tempo intervals. Friday, mountain bike. Saturday, long run. And Sunday, mountain hike. Plus 2 strength sessions. Oh yes, and a load of little dog walks across the week. So that was a good week. I enjoyed myself. That's key. If you enjoy what you do, you're more likely to do it. What that gives us across the week is running. I did about 32 kilometres, not massive, but it's a start, which took us about 3 hours 40 minutes in total. Walking, did 27k, which is 6 hours 45 walking time. A lot of that was the hike up Blencathra, plus 16 kilometres on the bike, which was about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. My combined run walk, therefore, was almost 60k, or just over 10 hours 20 minutes. So that's a good solid week. And my total time overall was about 12 hours with 1,285 metres of vert. Granted, a lot of that comes from the hike of Blencathra, but I like to monitor my vert. So there we have, that was week 1 of my training plan to improve my parkrun time. So as I said, I will link to the Blencathra video down here. Please go and watch it, give it a like.